Tyler's final words were, "You better think about your actions, you useless wife." After that, I couldn't hear Tyler's or my in-laws' voices anymore. The basement was completely dark, with the only light coming from my phone. I wasn't even sure how long the battery would last. At that moment, all I felt was despair, and I couldn't move. What should I do? At this rate, even the baby in my belly, my precious child growing inside me, I felt so sorry that I couldn't protect them, and my tears wouldn't stop. That's when I heard the sound of a phone alert. "Please help me," I answered the call, clinging to it like a lifeline. 1 week later, Tyler and his parents returned from their Hawaii trip. "Ah, that was enjoyable," they said, entering the house with satisfied smiles. As my mother-in-law was about to place the luggage down, she noticed something. "Oh my, what's this smell?" She realized there was a foul odor emanating from the basement. Initially, she didn't seem to recognize it. Could it be the smell of decay? Once she understood, she hurried towards the basement. Seeing her reaction, Tyler and my father-in-law followed, wondering what was happening. My mother-in-law opened the basement door and nervously peered inside. "I'm Ashley, a 28-year-old homemaker. I grew up in a family of 3 with my younger brother Joshua and our mother, who passed away a few years ago. Our father died in a car accident when Joshua was little. Mom was truly a resilient person. She used to say, 'I can't spend much time with you because of work, but I promise I won't let you struggle.' She worked from early morning to late at night to raise us, sometimes juggling multiple jobs and working tirelessly. 'Mom, here's my part-time job pay. Please use it for the household,' I would say, concerned she might overwork herself someday. That's why I wanted to contribute, even a little, and handed over all my earnings to her. Initially, she refused, saying, 'Don't worry about it.' But I insisted, so she reluctantly accepted. However, instead of using it for daily expenses, she saved it all, insisting, 'This is your hard-earned money, so use it for yourself.' She handed it back to me when I began college. Thanks to that, I was able to enjoy my college life without financial stress. Mom always said, 'Seeing you living happily with a smile is my joy.' She was always thinking about us. This compassionate and strong mother of ours passed away due to illness shortly after I started working. At her funeral, Joshua vowed, 'From now on, I'll protect you, sis.' He grew up to be as strong and caring as Mom. 'I want to emulate Mom,' he declared, striving hard to realize his ambitions. I'm immensely proud of him. With Joshua and one other person's support, I managed to navigate the grief of losing Mom. That person is my husband, Tyler. 'Are you okay? You look down. If you want, I'm here to listen,' Tyler said to me unexpectedly one day at work, where we were just colleagues. I was taken aback, but he continued to engage with me and listen to me many times. Gradually, I found myself drawn to him. 'Will you let me be there for you? I promise to bring you happiness,' he confessed, and we started dating. After a few years together, we decided to marry. Congratulations! I'm sure Dad and Mom in heaven are celebrating too, Joshua said, genuinely happy for us. Tyler's parents also told me, "From now on, think of us as your parents." I felt truly blessed to be surrounded by such loving family members. Until we got married, I felt incredibly fortunate. Ashley, would you consider moving in with my parents at our family home after we get married? We've already decided to tie the knot, and I think it's wasteful to keep paying rent, Tyler suggested. Joshua and I had moved out when we started college, so after Mom passed away, we hesitated a bit, but ended up selling the house. I don't mind living together, I replied. Thank you, Ashley, he said. At that time, my in-laws doted on me, so I decided to move into their house even before the wedding. They welcomed me warmly and were always kind. However, amidst all this, there was one person who treated me coldly. "What?" "I didn't hear anything about living together," said Sarah, Tyler's sister. She ignored my greetings and acted as if I were invisible. "We apologize for our daughter's behavior," my in-laws reassured me repeatedly. "She's probably just upset because she wasn't informed." I assured them I didn't mind, but something about both their words and Sarah's demeanor troubled me. Her gaze seemed to hold pity for me. Whenever I tried to approach her for clarification, she skillfully evaded me, preventing any meaningful conversation. Would this marriage be okay if it started like this? I wondered. But I believed we would eventually find common ground. Tyler's family was kind, and he and his parents were wonderful, so Sarah couldn't be a bad person either. I was naive to think that way. I was mistaken. Now you can't escape anymore. Yes, enduring until now was worth it. Immediately after our marriage, my in-laws' demeanor changed drastically. They began treating me like a servant, assigning tasks such as cooking, cleaning, gardening, and more. "Your earnings as a wife belong to us. Give us your bank book. We'll manage your money," they demanded, attempting to take control of my finances. I promptly consulted Tyler, but he coldly dismissed me, saying, "There's no way my parents would do such a thing." Seeing my in-laws' behavior, thoughts of divorce crossed my mind. However, I had nowhere else to go, and Joshua was occupied with his work. I didn't want to burden Joshua, who was diligently pursuing his dreams every day. At work, my colleagues would likely side with Tyler, who had been there longer than me. With no one to turn to, I felt overwhelmed and helpless. "Ashley, I did the laundry for you, so please take a rest," Sarah said to me one day when I was exhausted from work and household chores. She quietly assisted me, ensuring my in-laws wouldn't notice. While I cooked and endured my mother-in-law's criticisms, Sarah took care of other tasks. When I was awkwardly interacting with my father-in-law, she would subtly intervene to help me escape the situation. Whenever my in-laws insulted me, calling me incompetent or belittling my worth as a wife, Sarah always supported me, saying, "Don't let their words affect you. You work hard every day, and you're a wonderful person." Without Sarah's encouragement, my spirit would have shattered long ago. While feeling grateful to her, I started to wonder why she was going to such lengths for me. "Why are you doing all this for me?" I asked Sarah cautiously, making sure my in-laws were sound asleep. Her response was startling. "What you're experiencing is what I've endured all this time. My brother and parents are awful people. They enforce their belief that women must obey their parents and brothers and treat us like servants. I've suffered a lot because of them. My mother-in-law, despite being a daughter-in-law herself, managed to handle them well due to substantial financial support from her own family, avoiding mistreatment. I wanted to help you escape, but they made sure it never happened," Sarah explained. "My in-laws kept a close watch on her to prevent me from learning too much, forcing her to maintain distance from me as an act of defiance." "I understand now. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. I thought you disliked me all this time," I said. "No, I should apologize for not being able to protect you," Sarah replied with a remorseful expression. She was truly compassionate. She didn't belong in such a place. Just as I was about to discuss our next steps, Tyler woke up. "Oh, you're still awake? Is everything okay?" he asked, looking puzzled. I made up an excuse and pondered my plans. What should I do now? I knew I needed to find a way out of this house. That's when I discovered I was pregnant during a hospital visit for feeling unwell. The news filled me with joy, but it also meant my movements would soon be restricted. The first person I contacted was Sarah. "Pregnancy is a happy occasion," she acknowledged, though her underlying concern was clear. Perhaps I should consider escaping. As I pondered my options, Tyler, who had insisted on accompanying me, waited outside the hospital and I couldn't leave Sarah behind either. Just then, I heard my mother-in-law's voice on the phone. "Is it true that she's pregnant?" At that moment, I couldn't help but feel a sense of dread. I'm sure Sarah felt the same. "Mom, were you eavesdropping on us?" Sarah's panicked voice echoed through the phone. It had to be my mother-in-law who found out. She shared everything with my father-in-law and Tyler, so they would soon know too. "I just got a call from Mom. Seriously, you should have told me first," Tyler exclaimed when I exited the hospital. He greeted me with a wide smile, clearly unaware of the tension. I returned home with mixed emotions. "Congratulations, Ashley. Well done. We finally have a grandchild." My in-laws greeted me with warm smiles. They appeared completely transformed from the people who had previously ordered me around and belittled me. Glancing at Sarah standing behind them, her eyes conveyed a clear message. They won't let you escape. Following that, I enjoyed a brief period of relative peace. "Don't push yourself too hard. Your health is the priority," Tyler said, unusually caring, always attentive to my needs. Aware of my severe morning sickness, he even arranged for me to start maternity leave early. "I'll take care of the laundry. I'll handle the cleaning so you can rest." My in-laws actively assisted with household chores, allowing me to recuperate during bouts of morning sickness. However, Sarah bore the brunt of their displeasure. "You can't even manage to get married, let alone become pregnant. At least contribute to the household?" I overheard my mother-in-law berating Sarah while I lay down. It was my turn to support her. I tried to intervene, but Sarah declined my help. "Ashley, you should rest. Please don't worry about me. Did you find out the baby's gender?" "Not yet." At my reply, she seemed to be thinking about something. When I asked her what happened, she said, "I'm not sure, but if the baby turns out to be a girl, it might be bad," Sarah said with a grimace. I understood what she meant when I was 5 months pregnant. "Do you know the baby's gender?" "Yes, they told me it's a girl," I said. "A girl?" My mother-in-law suddenly yelled in the middle of my sentence. How could this be? Not only my mother-in-law, but my father-in-law also started shouting. Bewildered, I looked at Tyler. He was frowning too, and that's when I finally realized what Sarah had said. "We don't accept any grandchildren that aren't boys. Girls have no value. Getting pregnant with a girl, you are good for nothing. You betrayed our expectations." My in-laws hurled insults at me. Far from helping, Tyler glared at me too. "I'm disappointed in you, Ashley," he said, blaming me. After that, I was back to living like a slave. They again started to order me around despite my pregnancy. "Ashley, please sit down. Let me take care of it," Sarah insisted, actively helping me unlike before. However, her assistance seemed to aggravate my in-laws. "Hey, where's Sarah?" I asked one day upon returning from a checkup, only to find Sarah gone. Distressed over losing my only ally, I questioned my in-laws about her whereabouts. "We kicked that useless girl out," they callously replied. They had seized the opportunity of my absence during the checkup to evict Sarah, leaving her with nothing but the clothes on her back. Suppressing the immediate urge to reach out to her, I waited until my in-laws had retired for the night before contacting her. "Sarah, are you all right?" "I'm okay. I managed to grab my phone and wallet before they threw me out," she assured me. For now, she was staying at a nearby hotel, but her situation was precarious, and she couldn't stay there indefinitely. "I have a younger brother. I'm sure he'll protect you if you mention my name," Sarah reassured me, so I urged her to rely on Joshua. I would have contacted him myself, but somehow Joshua's contact information had vanished from my phone. It was clear that one of my in-laws had deleted it while I was in the bath. I quickly gave Sarah Joshua's workplace and name before we could be interrupted and hung up. From then on, I struggled through each day while safeguarding my unborn child. I was under constant surveillance, and my phone was routinely checked, leaving me unable to reach out to anyone. Consequently, I had no idea about Sarah's current situation. Worthless wife, if you don't want your belly kicked, clean up the basement. I was ordered one day to clean the basement. I truly didn't want to, but the entire family was home that day. I feared that any resistance might result in harm to my unborn child, so reluctantly, I descended into the basement. "What's taking you so long? Get on with it." I cautiously made my way down the dark stairs, relying on the faint light from above. Just as I reached the bottom, the light abruptly went out, and I panicked, looking up. The basement door had been firmly shut. "Hey, what's going on? Please open the door," I pleaded desperately in the pitch-black space. "A fitting place for a worthless wife," came the mocking response from outside the door as I continued to cry out for help, but received only disdainful words in return. "This isn't funny, not even as a joke. You're so noisy. We're going on a week-long trip to Hawaii. Now reflect on your rudeness towards us down there. Think about how sorry you are for getting pregnant with a girl." I heard my in-laws' laughter on the other side of the door, mixed with Tyler's laughter. "Reflect on your actions in there, you useless wife." Tyler's voice echoed before their voices faded away. The basement enveloped me in darkness, and my phone was my only source of light. I had no idea how long its battery would last. In that moment, despair gripped me, and I felt paralyzed. What should I do? At this rate, even my precious baby is growing inside me. Then a sound broke the silence, a notification on my phone. "Please help me." I answered the call desperately, clutching onto it like a lifeline. My sole focus was my unborn child. For their sake, I had to find a way out. With that determination fueling me, I began to move. 1 week later, Tyler and his parents returned from their Hawaii trip. "Ah, that was enjoyable," they remarked, stepping into the house with contented smiles. As my mother-in-law was about to set down the luggage, she detected an unusual odor. "Oh my, what's that smell?" She was puzzled over the foul scent emanating from the basement. Initially uncertain, she speculated, could it be the smell of decay? Realizing the truth, she hurried towards the basement, prompting Tyler and my father-in-law to follow, curious about the commotion. My mother-in-law cautiously opened the basement door and peered inside. "What in the world?" she exclaimed at the ghastly sight within. Startled by her reaction, we emerged from the nearby room where we had been hiding. There, we witnessed my mother-in-law sinking to her knees, while my father-in-law and Tyler stood in stunned silence. "Ashley!" Tyler suddenly noticed us and cried out. His exclamation drew the attention of my in-laws, who turned to look at us as well. "Wait, what's going on here?" my mother-in-law demanded, apparently unaware of the person standing behind me. Strewn across the basement were eggs, the source of the putrid smell of decay. "What have you done?" My mother-in-law tried to approach me, but Joshua and Sarah stepped forward, blocking her path. Finally noticing their presence, my mother-in-law halted in her tracks. "It's been a while since the wedding. By the way, don't you notice anything when you look at my sister?" Joshua asked coldly, causing Tyler and the others to scrutinize me intently. Their expressions quickly turned to astonishment. "Don't tell me. That belly," Tyler muttered. "That's right. My belly, which grew during pregnancy, is now flat," I declared, understanding the significance. I gave Tyler my brightest smile. "Yes, after you locked me in the basement, my water broke and I gave birth a week ago." It was Sarah who had called my phone. After meeting safely with Joshua, she had taken immediate action to rescue me from the basement. Knowing where the basement door and key were located, she swiftly freed me with Joshua's assistance. We managed to escape, but then I went into labor, prompting them to call an ambulance. I delivered my babies safely at the hospital. "Your children?" Tyler muttered in confusion as I explained. "Yes, that's right. I have a twin boy, and a girl," I revealed. My in-laws' eyes widened in surprise. It turned out I had given birth to twins, fulfilling their desire for a male heir. When I shared this news, they froze momentarily before rejoicing. "Well done, now we have an heir." Seeing them like this filled me with rage. "What are you talking about? Those children are my precious babies. I won't let them become this family's heirs." "What are you trying to say?" Tyler glared at me. To him, I held out divorce papers. Tyler froze on the spot. "Tyler, this is perfect. You don't even need this worthless wife," his mother said. "That's true. Just take the heir and get a divorce," his father added. But Tyler didn't respond. He silently stared at the completed divorce papers. "I won't hand over custody. My sister has our firm's best lawyer on her side," Joshua said, glaring at them coldly. "What? A lawyer?" they asked, surprised. "That's right, I'm a lawyer. For my sister and Sarah, we won't let you get away." "Ashley, let's go," Sarah said, giving me a push on the back while also glaring at my in-laws. We left the house. "I'll never forgive you," Joshua said as he shot them a glare and walked out. Afterward, we headed to the hospital. "Sorry for making you two wait," I said to my children who were still there. I had consulted with the hospital about the situation, and they had kindly agreed to watch over them. "Well then, shall we go?" And together with my children, we went to the law firm where Joshua works. "We've been waiting for you guys." Daniel, who was in charge of my case, greeted me with a smile when I entered. Looking at my children, his expression softened. "They're adorable," he said. "Thank you," I replied. "They are cute. They look just like you." I thanked him for his words, and we started discussing what steps should be taken next. Of course, the topics were divorce, child support, and compensation. Just then, I got a call from Tyler. "Please put it on speaker," Daniel instructed, and I answered the phone accordingly. "I'm truly sorry for what happened. I can't leave you. Please give me another chance," Tyler pleaded. In my mind, I was like, what on earth was he saying? I have no intention of starting over. I don't want to be with someone who locks his wife in the basement when she's about to give birth and then goes on a trip to Hawaii. I can't go against what my parents say. I had no choice," he claimed. "What do you exactly mean by no choice? You were mocking me along with them." I'll never forget the shock I felt when I heard him laughing together with them. That time. That's when Daniel calmly interjected. "As a grown man, it is unsettling for you to say you had no choice. What you did was a clear-cut crime." Tyler probably didn't expect to hear another man's voice besides Joshua's. "Who's that?" he shouted angrily. "I'm the lawyer in charge of Ashley's case. I've also heard the details from my colleague, Ashley's brother. From now on, I will be acting as her representative in dealing with you," Daniel informed him before taking a deep breath and fixing his sharp gaze on the phone. "Let me speak to you as an individual. What you did was the lowest of the low, neglecting your family, treating them like slaves, and on top of that, hurting your pregnant wife emotionally and putting her life at risk while you go on a trip to Hawaii. Have some shame." Daniel's clear words made him seem incredibly reliable. "And one more thing. From now on, I will be acting as Sarah's representative as well, so refrain from contacting her too. We will show no mercy to the likes of you," Joshua added, echoing Daniel's words. At that, Tyler fell silent. So we hung up. Sarah and I looked at the two lawyers. "Leave it to us," they said with reassuring smiles. "We'll make sure they pay for their crimes." Seeing them stand for us, we felt at ease and trusted the matter to them. Thanks to Daniel's hard work, the divorce was finalized without me having the trouble of seeing Tyler. I was granted custody of the twins, child support, and a sizable compensation. "I'm truly sorry. Please reconsider." Tyler sent me messages like that, but I thoroughly ignored him. I figured that would be the most painful thing for him. Ever since we were dating, he hated being ignored and always tried to make me pay attention to him, no matter what. "Please don't ignore me," he had said, crying in a voicemail. Well, I ignored that too, and made sure to get only what I was entitled to. Upon receiving the troubling call from my colleague about Tyler's spreading of rumors, I was both shocked and deeply disappointed. It appeared Tyler was continuing his campaign to smear my reputation, alleging that I had neglected my responsibilities as a wife and had left our children to be with someone else. Immediately, I contacted Daniel, my lawyer, to inform him of Tyler's actions. Knowing the seriousness of defamation, especially in a professional setting, Daniel and I quickly formulated a plan to take legal action against Tyler once again. With Daniel's guidance, we prepared to sue Tyler for spreading false and damaging information about me. Simultaneously, I decided to address the situation with my colleagues at work. I shared the truth about my divorce and the events that led to it, clarifying that Tyler's accusations were baseless and malicious. My colleagues were supportive and understanding, expressing disbelief at Tyler's audacity to fabricate such stories. Understanding the impact of Tyler's actions on my professional reputation and personal well-being, I was resolute in seeking justice. Daniel and I moved swiftly with legal proceedings, aiming to hold Tyler accountable for his defamation and the additional distress he caused. This renewed legal battle, while unexpected, reinforced my determination to protect my integrity and ensure that Tyler faced consequences for his deceitful behavior. With the support of my legal team and colleagues, I remained focused on defending my reputation and moving forward positively with my life and my children. Upon hearing Joshua and Sarah's announcement, I was genuinely taken aback. However, as I looked at them standing before me with such earnest expressions, I couldn't help but feel a sense of happiness and relief that they had decided to spend their future together. Sarah was drawn to Joshua's dedication to helping us, and he had fallen for her at first sight. The other day, they had confirmed their feelings for each other and started dating with marriage in mind. "That's wonderful news," I exclaimed, unable to contain my joy. "I'm happy for both of you." Joshua nodded with a smile. "Thank you, sis. We wanted you to know first and get your blessing. You've both been through so much with me," Sarah added softly, "and we've grown closer during this time." "It's true," Joshua agreed, his voice filled with sincerity. "We've been supporting each other and realized that we have strong feelings for each other." Their relationship, born out of shared experiences and mutual support, felt incredibly right. Knowing Joshua's protective nature and Sarah's unwavering kindness, I couldn't think of anyone better suited for each other. "I wholeheartedly give you both my blessing," I said, feeling a surge of warmth. "You've shown such strength and love. You deserve every bit of happiness." Sarah's story of resilience and determination deeply moved me. Hearing how she had endured years of oppression and yet found the strength to stand up for herself and eventually forge her path was incredibly inspiring. "I'm so glad I could be there for you, Sarah," I said sincerely, wiping away my tears. "You've shown incredible bravery and strength, and I'm grateful beyond words that our paths crossed." Sarah nodded, her smile widening. "You've been my guiding light, Ashley. Without you, I wouldn't have found the courage to change my life." We sat together, sharing a moment of profound gratitude and understanding. Despite the hardships we had both faced, we had found solace and support in each other's company. Our bond had grown stronger through adversity. And now, as we looked ahead to brighter days, we felt a renewed sense of hope and possibility. "Let's continue supporting each other," Sarah said softly, her voice filled with determination. A few days later, Daniel called me, and we arranged to meet at a nearby restaurant. "I'm sorry for asking you to meet like this. How are the twins?" he inquired. They're fine. Joshua and the secretaries are looking after them, I responded with a smile, noticing his repeated nods of appreciation. No need to thank me. I wanted to express my gratitude to you, I continued, remembering how instrumental he had been in handling my in-laws. Daniel had been a pillar of support for Joshua and me. That's why when I reached out to thank him, he suggested we have a meal together. I didn't expect to be invited out like this, I admitted honestly. I apologize for surprising you. Truthfully, I've admired you for some time now, Daniel confessed, causing me to gasp in disbelief. I never imagined someone as remarkable as him would feel that way about me. You might not be able to consider it right now, but someday, when you feel like being in a relationship again, please keep me in mind. He looked at me with a serious expression as he said that. Honestly, his demeanor made my heart race. After finishing our meal, we left the restaurant together. Ashley? Someone called out, and I turned around. What? No way. Standing there was Tyler, looking haggard. He approached me with a hopeful expression. Ashley, I've been looking for you. You only have me, right? Only him, huh? Certainly. I might have thought so until recently, but I am different now. Excuse you, but I don't need you anymore. Right after I declared that to Tyler, Daniel pulled me close to him. I'll make her happy, so you have no role to play anymore, Daniel said firmly, glaring at Tyler. Seeing Daniel like that and me going along with it, Tyler still tried to cling to me. I could only find him annoying at this point. We can still start over. If you bother her any further, I'll call the police, Daniel warned sternly, making Tyler freeze in his tracks. If the police were called now, it would be a heavy blow to Tyler, who was already deep in debt. Damn it. All right, he muttered, and decided to depart. He turned his back on us and walked away disheartened. His figure appeared small and solitary. I apologize. I got all sensitive with you even though we're not even officially dating yet, Daniel admitted. It's fine. I was really glad to hear you say something like that. Daniel blushed at my words but maintained a smile. Finding his expression charming probably meant my fate was already sealed. Later, I heard through gossip that my former in-laws had split up. Supposedly, Tyler was the first to leave. He had truly loved me, and realizing he could never win me back, he vanished. Without Tyler, their main provider, my in-laws not only couldn't settle their debts, but had to take on more loans just to get by. Ultimately, they sold their house and now scrape by day to day under a bridge. I don't care anymore, I murmured and headed towards my beloved children. Time passed, and the twins turned 5. They dashed around energetically daily, while Daniel and I struggled to keep up with them. You're finally tying the knot, Ashley, Sarah said with a smile, cradling her sleeping nephew. She had wed Joshua 4 years ago and welcomed a son last year. Today was Daniel and my wedding day. I'll ensure Ashley and the twins find happiness, Daniel vowed. Yes, I trust you, so let's build our happiness together, I pledged, and we proceeded to the venue, believing this time we would